my friends. It's Nick, the ASMR nerd, and today I'm playing this delightful, enchanting game called Book of Travels. Book of Travels is ostensibly an MMO, a multiplayer online game, but it's not like any MMO I've ever played before, and probably not that you have ever played before either. It is quite unique. This game began its life as a Kickstarter a couple of years back, and I actually kickstarted it at the time, and it recently released into Steam Early Access in a very early form that the developers are calling Chapter 0. So it's a prologue of sorts. There's a lot of features that have not been implemented yet, and it only contains a small portion of the game world so far. But even so, I think that there is a lot to enjoy here, a lot worth experiencing, because this game is so unique. And you might have noticed that I left in the little intro clip at the beginning of the video there for the developer, Might and Delight. And I did that because it's so ASMR-ish. It is so subtle and tingly. I love it so much. And this game is really just suffused with that kind of aesthetic. It is just so focused on the sensory experience, whether it's the sound effects, like listen to those waves, or the music, which is just beautiful, just strikingly beautiful, or the visual aesthetic, these incredibly painterly landscapes that look unlike any game I've ever played before. The presentation is just something else. It's really, really unique. So I'm going to be starting a new character here today. I have played it a little bit so far on another character, but really not that much. So I'm still quite new and learning all the systems, and it's one of those games that kind of intentionally makes things a bit obscure to really strengthen the feeling of immersion and the focus on the role-playing and the narrative. You'll see what I mean. But before we jump on into that, I'm trying something a little bit different here today. This video is sponsored by a company called NuPhy, and they sent over their Air 75 keyboard for me to take a look at with you guys and for me to use in this here video. So if you hear keyboard sounds throughout the video, it's their Air 75 keyboard. But what I'm going to do here is do a little miniature unboxing and product showcase for you in this style of one of my relaxing reviews. So you kind of get to have your cake and eat it here as well. You get to have a little hardware, gaming hardware ASMR interlude here, and then you'll also get the gaming ASMR as well. So it's a really neat little keyboard. It is ultra slim, super low profile. It's got low profile switches, hot swap sockets, RGB backlighting, a couple kinds of wireless connectivity, all kinds of really interesting stuff. So if that sounds cool to you and you like hardware unboxing ASMR, stick around for this little sponsored interlude here where we take a look at NuPhy's Air 75 keyboard, and then we'll get back to the game. And here we have the NuPhy Air 75 wireless mechanical keyboard in box, and it's a fairly attractive piece of retail packaging. We've got this anime themed character over here on the left who's like, I don't know, some kind of like keyboard wizard. She's got like a low profile switch in her hand floating here, and that's because this keyboard features low profile Gatoron switches. You can see a little bit of the exploded layout of the keyboard just over here. 16mm ultra thin design, 2500 milliamp hour battery, which is evidently good for about 48 hours of continuous use. Low profile mechanical switches. This is my first encounter with low profile switches, so I'm actually quite keen to try them out. Ultra thin PBT keycaps, which NuPhy claims are the world's thinnest spherical profile PBT keycaps. We'll have to take a look at those. And they are dye sub as well. And flowing RGB side light. That should be interesting. Let's take a look at what's inside. Okay, we've got more of this keyboard wizard. We've got stickers and a poster and things. I love it. That's great. And here is the keyboard itself, nestled within. And here it is. It is very thin, as you can see. They were not lying when they said it was thin. I bet you this makes nice sounds. Keycap and switch puller. A braided USB Type-C to USB Type-A cable, 1.5 meters in length, and a handful of switches, low profile switches. These are the Gatoron low profiles that this board features, and they are so slim. Look at how short they are. We've got the red, we've got the brown, and we've got the blue. And we've got our 2.4 gigahertz wireless receiver right here. But the board also features Bluetooth. And then we've got some keycaps. And we've got keycaps and some magnetic feet, riser feet to boost it up if you want a bit more of an angle to type at there. They're rubberized. And the keycaps are for Windows, because by default I believe it's configured for Mac. Dye sub PBT. They've got a spherical profile, which you can kind of see, but they're so flat. There's very little profile to be seen. They are very, very short, but they seem to be nice and thick, very robust, so that is great. Looking at the keyboard itself, we have the 75% layout here, which is nice and space efficient. I think 75% is probably actually my favorite layout in terms of compact size versus full functionality. We've got dedicated arrow keys, of course. You can see all those very, very low profile keycaps. They just barely peek up from the edge there. This thing is like a razor thin. Look at it. Look at that. It's got an aluminum frame on the top here. You can see there. It's nice anodized aluminum. And the undercarriage is a translucent plastic. Around the edges, not a whole lot to see. It's very clean. But we do have a little action on the back here. We've got the Windows Mac toggle switch. It does support both. And we have the off, wired, or wireless mode toggle switch as well. And then over here we've got USB-C port. Overall, looks and feels really good. Let's plug it in and see how it looks and sounds. And here's the Air 75 plugged in. You can see its RGB backlight in all its glory. Let's just flip through some of the different options here. Lots of different backlight settings, as one might expect. And here it is in the light again so that we can do a typing test. First of all, let's try out the stabilized keys, how they sound. Dang, that's really actually very good. Very little rattle. All right, let's type now. Wow, this thing actually sounds and feels way better than I thought it might for this low profile switches. I'm really impressed with the dampened, well-controlled and thocky sound that this keyboard offers. There's also an optional folding carrying case available for the Air 75 and other optional keycaps available if you want to explore different colorways. And that, my friends, is the NuPhy Air 75 Ultra Slim wireless mechanical keyboard. It retails for $110 US, and you can check it out at the link down below at the top of the video description and pinned at the top of the comments. Apparently right now orders will be shipping by late October. So click on through, check it out, and a huge shout out to NuPhy for supporting this video with their sponsorship. And thank you all for watching this little segment. It's kind of a win-win. The channel gets some help from a sponsor, and you guys get a little miniature keyboard unboxing and feature showcase here. I hope you enjoyed it. And here we are back on this delightful main menu for Book of Travels. I could honestly sit here for hours and just enjoy the ambiance, but we will not do that. Instead, we're going to make a character and see what this game is all about. Now, because this is an online game, there are servers. For some reason, it wants to always put me in Europe by default, but I am in North America, so let's find a North American server. Gate of the West is the one it has defaulted us to. Population looks pretty low. That seems like it'll do. Let's go. Okay, let's log in. So this is the character that I have created and played a tiny bit on, but we're going to make a new character because even the character creation experience is quite unique in this game. I love this little scene here. Beautiful. Alright. So, first thing we do is we have to pick a form. As it says here, a form is a basic wanderer archetype used as a starting template to create a new character. Your chosen form determines your range of options and preset characteristics for your wanderer, and can also inspire you to roleplay in a certain way. So there are a variety of forms to pick from right off the bat here. The Braided Shore is the name of the world in which we will be traveling. These are basically classes. Effectively, these are classes. Listen to this music, you guys. It's fire. It's so good. Okay. The Enfolder. Serve and shine with strength in kind. Interesting. So, all of the classes that we can pick from in this early access are these Asken folk. which seems to be the predominant race, at least in this part of the Braided Shore. And every one of them is associated with a different wind. So the enfolder is associated with the southern wind. And the talents, as you'll see, are affinities, basically, sort of the areas of the game in which this form is especially suited. So mechanical and physical for the enfolder. I love this art though. It's so different. Never seen anything quite like it. The Regent, treasure the measure, and the underknown. Associated with the northern wind, mechanical and social. The Larker, plays for life in laughter bright. A physical and spiritual specialist. The Ribbon, spiritual and physical. Magic plane at hearths not feigned. The Gleaner, quick for the trick, first to the findings, social and spiritual. The Good Word, plain and trusted, trail-made child, mechanical and physical. The Dimmed, wisdom wide as sand and tide, spiritual and mechanical. And the Veiled, soft the stepping, still the gaze, mechanical and social. You can see they wear a veil. The Mirther, social and spiritual, unfettered glee with song set free. Gosh, there's a lot of forms for an early access game. The Crested, splendor bright, worn clear and light, social and spiritual. The Weatherer, scarred and hardy, storm-racked soul, physical and social. The Moss Walker, deep cleft, bright, in small delight, spiritual and social. And then we're back to the enfolder. So, gosh, there's a lot to choose from right off the bat, isn't there? The Larker sounds kind of nice. They look like they might be a bard type kind of class. Very free-spirited. Physical and spiritual. Maybe there's a bit of a monk-like component there as well. Plays for life in laughter bright, associated with the west wind. And there's sort of a little description of each of the winds and things here. The Askenfolk, descended from the peoples that inhabited the islands of Braided Shore. This is before recorded annals. Your kind is by far the most numerous. Naturally adaptive and resourceful, Askenfolk have no natural physical weaknesses or fortitude, but their inherent spirituality makes them able to master the language of magic. Alright, let's try the Larker. Sounds good to me. So we can now pick between a variety of upbringings. The additional information like age and gender have no bearing on your in-game stats or anything, but upbringing does. So let's look through the options. We have a rural. Growing up in the farmlands, you learned at an early age how to work the fields, care for livestock, and read the shifting of the seasons. Small town upbringing. You grew up in a small settlement, learning to tend your parents' vegetable garden and heed the individual peculiarities of neighboring villagers. Urban upbringing. Crafter upbringing. Mystic upbringing. Your child's spirit was open to the mysteries. You spent your youth learning to control your mystic gifts. That might be a fun one. Lost memories. That's the amnesia option, right? Outlaw. You were raised as a cub among bandits, learning the tricks and skills necessary to live outside of gentle society. The writing in this game is so strong. So strong. A naval upbringing. Child of the mountains. Islander. Highborn. Impoverished. Religious. Born into slavery. And then we're back to rural. I kind of like the mystic upbringing. I feel like that works maybe for this type of character. And then they encourage you to write your own background story. I won't be doing that today because character creation is already going to take us a while, I think. But that option is there if you want it. And then gender is just a box that you can fill in however you like. We'll just leave it blank. Why not? We'll just leave it blank. Okay, so now this is a cool system. Personality. Besides being a crucial cornerstone for your role-playing experience, your Wanderer's personality traits will affect a great variety of situations. Positive traits will grant you benefits in certain aspects of your travels and can often, with clever use, be used to your advantage. Your negative traits, on the other hand, may at times disadvantage or hinder your pursuits. So you can see here that some of the traits are not yet implemented in terms of the gameplay effect. This, again, is an early access game. There's lots of things that are still under development, so I have no problem with that. And I'm not sure if the traits that it gives you to start with here are randomly selected, the ones that you can pick from here, or if they're associated with your form or background, but it seems that the lists change every time. So there's a ton of different traits, and some of them have really unique, interesting sounding gameplay effects. You get to pick 2 positive traits and 1 negative trait. Let's see what we've got to pick from. Charmful. You have a way of presenting yourself in a pleasant and delightful manner. Slightly better trading, so better income for your goods. Observant. Not yet implemented. I would like to pick a couple, I think, that have been implemented, just for the sake of interest. Cryptic, not yet. Focus, not yet. Careful. You have a risk-averse nature and a habit of keeping your guard up. You get a notion when dangers draw close. Could be useful. Lucky, forgiving. This is interesting. You gain knowledge when someone leaves your group. So that's if you're traveling with people and then you, like real people, other players, then you break apart. I think this means that you gain experience, basically. Subtle, peaceful, optimistic. Peaceful, guided by your inner compass, you accept yourself and the world around you as they are. When resting by a fire, you gain more energy than other folk. Optimistic. In spite of the odd setback, your heart is committed to hope and progress. You gain even more knowledge when winning against bad odds. I kind of like both of these, peaceful and optimistic. That sounds like a very carefree kind of soul. But you do have to pick a negative trait. Dependent. You are overly reliant on others to meet your emotional and physical needs. You have slightly less force when not a member of a party. Not implemented yet though. Fast talker. You tend to relate a lot of information in a short time. Your emotes are visible for a shorter time than normal. That's so, like, what a weird trait. What kind of game would do that? But I love it. Sleepyhead. Waking up is a long and dreary process for you. You move sluggishly and cannot run after logging in or after resting. It sounds like such a annoying thing, but very roleplay appropriate. I honestly think maybe I'll pick that just because this is an ASMR video after all. I feel like Sleepyhead is kind of appropriate, but let's just take a look at these others. Sore loser, not yet implemented. Stiff. Running ramps up. Travel sick. Oh, interesting. When riding boats or trains, you lose energy. Uncaring. Can't turn the seeing a friend die card to a positive buff. I don't even know what that means. Wasteful. Okay. Weak. Yeah, let's go with Sleepyhead. We're a peaceful, optimistic Sleepyhead. Then they give you another space for entering additional personality notes. This is starting to feel a little bit like character creation for a tabletop RPG. I completely agree with you. The roleplay is strong with this one. Okay. Now we're getting a little crunchier. Skills. So, skills are, well, they take 4 different forms. You can see that here. Actions, abilities, or I guess 5. Tea making, knots, and passives. So, tea making, as far as I can gather, is like this game's potion making, like alchemy. Knots are magic, the magic system in this game, in the braided shore. And actions, abilities, and passives are fairly self-explanatory, I think. So we have been given 3. We can select 1 to start with here. Not a lot, but as you travel, you discover new skills in the form of cards, and you can choose to either learn them for knowledge points, which is basically experience, or you can sell them. A glinted lamp. It is a knot, so this is a spell. Conjures a mystical lamppost that shines over a place for some time. It has a material component cost. Conceal identity is a passive. Your identity will be hidden, appearing as unknown traveler to others. That's so cool. I love it. Fascinating. Or align. Align the worlds, showing the spirits of the dead for all to see. What? What does that even mean? We can talk to ghosts. It requires whispering orchids and mirror ash leaves. Well, I think we have to go with that one. How can you resist talking to the dead? And then talents are your stat points, basically. You saw we had affinity for physicality and spirituality, so we have the choice of putting 1 point into one of those to start with. And I think we're a more spiritual than physical type. I feel like the character we're going for here, so put our 1 point into spirituality, and we'll carry on. Appearance. So So, pretty basic visual customization. We can pick from different colors for our eyes. Cinnabar. Cobalt. I like cobalt as a magic user. That's cool. Jade. Marble. Oh, that's kind of spooky looking. Deep marble. It's like white eyes. Sulfur. Umber. And char. Oh, let's go with cobalt. Oh, deep cobalt. That's pretty striking, isn't it? And then voice. You can pick from a few different voice sets.
Hi. Hey. Oh. Hey. Hey. Hi.
Hey.
Hey. Hi.
Kind of like voice B. Let's go with voice B. Alright, another very unique system is the way you roll your starting equipment. So it's randomized, basically, and you can re-roll as much as you want. So we're gonna start by clicking the die here. And it has given us a Fisher's Simple Vestment. Whether practical or fashionable, affirming wealth and status or feigning anonymity, your dress states who you are, or in truth, who you would like your fellows to think you are. No pockets. A tasteless cinnabar hood. Okay. And an old hemp roll to backpack. I think it increases our carrying capacity. Well, it's a very humble set of starting gear. We also start with some food. Small steamed breads, a freshly baked loaf, and something. An invitation to a meeting. This scribble on a piece of weed paper states, "Meet me on the furthest shore." The words are written in your native script. Fascinating. Well, we can store this loadout and recall it at any time. So we can check out some other random ones, but we can always recall the one that we have stored. Let's just see. Actually, this seems strictly worse. A tar-stained vestment, simple sourdough bread, and a locked box. A compact metal casket, seemingly impossible to pry open. Its small keyhole keeps your hopes up. Let's try another one. You're like naked, except for a chin band for the sick. Worn as symbols of oh, that's just headgear in general. I got small steamed breads, little meal sweet bread, and a dark magnet. What the heck? A sack of flavorless tea. Why would you carry that? And a sea louse wrapped in paper. Possibly the biggest sea louse ever captured. What the so random. A sun-bleached mantle. And a night blanket. Let's recall our first set. Honestly, I think that's a pretty solid set of starting gear and a mystery. A mysterious meeting. Okay. And then finally, the name system, also very interesting. You have to roll for your first name and your last name. And as it says here, your name will stay with you and cannot be changed. Much power lies in a person's true name. Choose it with care. So we want something that sounds carefree and mystical. Myrna could be. I'll store that. Hair. Chris. Asken. Anno. Dimnu. Gadar. Ripa. Eso. Girim. Taram. Plia. Stink. Stink. Dakar. I kind of like Dakar. Let's try a different last name. Emmas. Kirik. Dakar Kirik. That's got a nice ring to it. Dakar Kirik. Dakar Kirik. It's a good ASMR kind of name. Dakar Kirik. Dakar Kirik. Alright. I think we've done it. Let's finish. Here we are. How did your journey begin? I was at sea, on land, captured, or I can't remember. And then you pick your region, north, west, south, or east, where you start your adventure. Interesting to note, at least so far at this point in the development, if you want to begin playing with a friend, you want to pick the same starting location from these options. I was traveling on land, and I was traveling, let's say I started in the west. I think that's what this form's wind affinity is, so, okay, let's go. Enter world.
The caravan rattles past mountain, swamp, and sea. This journey has taken you through many lands. Already, you've seen more of this world than your homebound elders, whose hearth and dreams were all they knew. Lulled by the monotony of the journey, your eyes are drawn to a spot on a hillside. A brambly side road, not much different from 100 others, has taken hold of your heart. Grabbing your pack, you slide from your perch and land with a thud on solid ground. The caravan clatters ahead without you, as you take your first steps into a world that just moments ago was nothing but scenery. Sleeping in a field, you're woken by the call of unfamiliar voices. From a bed of grass, you wake to see the faces of new friends. A flock of curious and very sociable sheep.
So we begin our journey in the sheep field here. Who is this? A cordial shepherd. Shall we speak to them? Maybe we should look at the tutorial on resting first. Even the most prolific adventurer must sometimes take time to rest. To rest, simply click the rest action icon, which I believe is down here. Okay, well, I don't know where the resting one went, but basics. Walk by left clicking, run by right clicking. Space to come to a full stop. The faster you move, the faster you consume your weight. Stamina bar, which is up here, the top left. Clicking the middle mouse button will make you exclaim a voice call suitable as a vocal greeting, as well as a call for attention to other travelers. To spot interactable objects and loot your surroundings, you must hover over them. Objects light up. Okay, the faster you move, the harder it is for you to spot interactables. So they encourage you to take it slow. left click. Okay. Action icons in the bottom right of the HUD. It makes you take your actions, like resting. Okay. Let's call out to this shepherd.
Hi.
Shepherd does not care, but maybe we can talk to them. Good morning and welcome to a brand new day, traveler. My wards appear very comfortable around you. Me and my son have decided to follow their example. Your way must have been long and hard for you to fall asleep in the middle of a field, not even seeking shelter under a tree. If you'd permit me to give you some advice, I would suggest you go south from here, where you will find the Elden Road. If you follow it east, you will come to the city of Crossings. The keeper of the tea house under the tree is a kindly soul. Seeing someone as wayworn as you on their doorstep, they will offer you a free meal and a good rest at least. Wind's blessings on your way, Kelim. Can we talk to the youngster? We can. No dialogue, too bad. Look at these sheep. We can interact with the sheep. Oh, we can pet them. Sort of. We're trying. So here we are. Wherever here is, something you've probably immediately noticed is that this game's perspective is quite different from most things you've probably played. Oh, look at, there's some people over there. Now, they did say to go south, but you know, might be nice to go see what those people are about. The Western Harvest route is where we start. Kam and Esnan. Perhaps that's who we see over there. I don't know. Our status, empty hand. We are no quicker, as the burden of our weapons does not weigh us down. We have no weapon at all. And we are battered and bruised. You have suffered hardships and misfortune, and need attention. Which is probably why we ought to go to the city. I hear someone humming. Don't see anyone though. Oh, what's this? A nomad's rest. A fireplace that we can light. Should we choose? Oh gosh, that's the loudest sheep. What is this? Dandelions. Oh, there's something over here. One of the things that strikes me most about this game is just how leisurely the walking pace is. This is a game that wants you to take your time. We just got 3 garden balsam. Oh, we found a road. Oh, it's a people. Let's talk to this struggling fisher. Endeavors. What's that? Endeavors are challenges that require considerable effort, often requiring you to employ them together with other travelers to stand a chance of overcoming them. Well, as you can see, there are no other travelers here right now. So I guess maybe we better not take on the challenge, but we can talk to this person. I've got a big one on the hook. All I can do is just hold it in place. I need some more muscle to help me pull it out of the water. we're gaining experience. Yes. I think that's what's happening when we get that little chime sound. Yes, indeed. Speed 1, burden 3. I guess based on what we're carrying, maybe. A farm worker. Let's talk to them. Zephyrus Feathers, traveler. You must have those bruises looked after. If you head south along the road and keep on it as it turns east, you will come soon to the town of Crossings. The tea house keeper in Crossings is sure to help you, or help get you on the mend. I get the impression that we really ought to head over to Crossings. If I right-click, this is what running looks like. Not especially fast, and it does drain our stamina pretty quickly. So you know what? We're just gonna walk. What is this? A wind voice. Maybe that's who we heard humming earlier. Listen to the sounds. The birds, the insects. Isn't it idyllic? We can zoom in our view to get a closer look at our character and the others around. This one looks quite interesting, doesn't it? Let's talk to the wind voice. What do you think this does? Well, I'll talk first and then find out. Wind's favor, Kalim. I am Hickam, a wind voice student of Rivenleaf University. I am pursuing a subject of study concerning wind's movement along the old roads. It have come to my attention. It has, I don't know where this game is developed. It might be localized into English, I'm not sure. This seems to suggest it probably is. It has come to my attention that the major roads do in some way, however small, affect the winds themselves. Mostly this is noticeable in the thick forests of the deep lands, but also here, to a lesser degree, it does carry an impact. If I can share my learnings, or I can share my learnings if you offer me something suitable in return. Wind's blessings, Kalim. Did I offer you to trade for the skill I can teach? Oh. If you do not require it for yourself, it would make a great gift for, say, another Kalim. Huh. I see this is trading. Browse NPC's inventory on the left side. This is my inventory. To begin bartering, you click to drag items that you would like from the NPC's window to the trade window. You then need to match the trade value. So it looks like there's no currency per se. The scales indicator show how fair the NPC finds your current offer to be. When the trade is acceptable to the NPC, the handshake icon lights up. Clicking it will execute the trade. Well, let's see what we can be taught. Instruction, Tricks of the Messenger, a passive skill. You were once engaged as an errand runner and messenger. You walk slightly faster when traveling on roads. That does sound useful. What do they want for it? 36. If we give both our food, I'm not giving away our invitation, but if we give both breads, it's pretty close. It's not quite close enough, though. Ah, that's too bad. Well, we can always come back, yes. Now, I thought that we picked up some plants, didn't we? Is there another inventory somewhere? Maybe. What does this do? Oh, let's just move it. I'm not sure. Yeah, I thought it said we gathered some dandelions and such. Well, no worry. We can maybe come back some other time. So the entire game takes place in this sort of fixed perspective, as far as I can tell. Let's zoom out again and appreciate the landscape. Here's another dandelion. Dandelion times 2. Where do they go? Where do they go? Maybe they haven't been implemented yet. I'm not sure. A worried oxen keeper. Can you give me a hand, Sam? My gluttonous oath of an ox, and it's supposed to be an oath, has gotten something stuck between its teeth again. It eats anything that comes before it. Never was there an ox like this. I always thought oxen were herbivores, but this thing cares only to fill its belly. It refuses to move when it has something to chew on. He must get whatever it has stuck in its mouth out, but it's lodged too deep. I just can't get it out. Please, will you try? Just reach in and pull whatever is stuck in there out. What have I done to deserve a creature like this? A chewing ox. This sounds like a great way to lose a hand, but you know what? Let's see what happens. It's another challenge. We can speak to the ox. Sets a lazy eye on you, mindlessly content with chewing. What do you think's gonna happen if we try and get something out of this ox's mouth? Let's see. I don't know what that means. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing. There's a lot of grunting going on here. One is lit up. The other is not. I have no idea what's happening. I guess maybe we needed another person. I think that's it. I think we needed another person to come and help. That's too bad. There's lots of tasks here. More people. So many people. A traveling hunter-gatherer. Look at all this. All kinds of foods and things. Some shoes. Oh gosh, they're so expensive. Never mind. And a trinket hoarder. Happy trade makes easy friends, barter well, and fairly spend. Well, I think we'd best just head on over to this so-called city. An old man, though. I fear for our youth, Kalim. Everywhere I look, I see evidence of gambling seeping back into the fabric of braided shore life. We made great efforts in my day to suppress the playing of the game of passage. Still, the younger generation appear to fail comprehending the risks. The youngsters do not know all darker details of the origin of this game. I fear perhaps we elders ultimately are to blame for this tragedy. Yes, clearly this is localized into English from a different language, but I don't know what. We hid its mystic truths and focused on preaching the dangers of playing. Now I realize that impressionable folk tend to be drawn to the forbidden, particularly if the prohibited subject involves some mystery. I have heard rumors of gambling going on in secret basement dens in Casa, Batsaha, and the Voices Tavern. Hey, wait, is this another player? Oh, maybe not. A seasoned scholar examiner. Even in an out-of-the-way place like Kuro Orchard, a whisper is floating around about a secret cult of subversive gamblers. So be warned, wanderer, don't fall for the lure of the Scutamara. Reject the handling of soul-sapping passage cards. Well, I don't know what any of that means, but we did get a little XP for our troubles. Gosh, so many people to talk to. Hello, wanderer. Talking all day to my students, I keep forgetting if I've introduced myself. Skiftbat, or Skiffbat also, is my name. I am a journey aspirant, striving to earn the rank of candidate. I am from the city also, by the canal. As a stranger to this land, you might not be familiar with the title Bat. Is he just going to wander away on us? It basically means, oh, come back. I just wonder if we can, oh good, we did get a little XP for it. I thought I saw something twinkling over here. Oh yeah, what's this? Another bag. A dirty hemp cape cloak. A flute rinse rag. And a poorly patched drape. Okay. Okay. Huh. I don't know. What should we do? The dirty hemp cape or the poorly patched drape? Let's do the hemp cape. And I don't know what the heck a flute rinse rag is good for, but we have a cape now. Apparently. Alright, let's travel east. To crossings. So the world it appears to be split up into these kinds of maps, basically, as you might expect of an MMO. So we're leaving this map and moving into the next, which I think is the major city crossings, right? I think that's what they said. We can choose to travel forth as a group or alone. Well, we only have one choice, alone. But if there was someone else here, we could travel as a group. And here we are in the next area. Crossings. There's a weavery, a crafter's pavilion, fabrics, rians, the house under the tree. That's where we're heading, right? Yes. This is the gill field to the south of us here. Well, let's head forth. Another wind voice.
I speak for someone else.
Let's see what they say. Oh, it's the same one. Yes, it's the same wind's voice. Oh, we got some XP nonetheless, though. I think it's the same. Yes. Now, though, maybe we can trade with our flute rinse rag, not very valuable. But our poorly patched drape is worth 13. And you know, if we unequip our hemp cape, we might actually be able to afford this. Let's see. Wait, come back. I want to trade with you. Let's try this.
I am the voice of a seven.
Okay. 27. 30. Okay, let's try something else. Let's give the small steamed bread and subtract something. Drats. Aha! Perfect. We lose some bread, a rag, and our hemp cape, but we get to keep our poorly patched drape. Hopefully I don't regret this. There we go. We have acquired something. A skill passive. We can learn it. It costs 1 knowledge point, which I believe we have. Pretty sure. I don't know where it would show that, truth be told. Probably under skills somewhere. There you go, skill book. Knowledge points. 0 of 1. Don't know what that means. Maybe we don't have any. Well, let's just try. Oh. How do you know it worked? Okay. There it is. Tricks of the Messenger. A passive skill. And we do indeed walk a little faster. A young weaver. I think city might be a little bit of a strong term, but it's a settlement. Look at those beautiful hills in the distance. Ah, we're starting to hear the babble of the market. A robe crafter, a cane master, a pavilion manager. Oh, another wind voice over there. Blacksmith back there, it looks like. A char smith. Is this where we need to be? Is this the tea house? What does that say? We looked at something, but we can't understand it, perhaps. Tea house keeper. Ah, yes, this is where we ought to be. Let's go talk to them.
Seat yourself, whatever you wish.
Wind's mercy, traveler. What's happened to you? Ava or Ava. You look like you've been dragged through both hells of the underworld. Here, rest yourself. Let me serve you this. Some tea, and then a hot meal. Look at your clothes. I have a mending knot and some cloth somewhere lying around. There, good as new. And welcome, traveler, to the house under the tree. You have the look of a Kalim about you. I would not be surprised if you were headed for the Dandelion's temple near Bat Saha. That place has always had a mythical connection with wanderers. The shortest way to the temple is taking the road to the northwest to the western Verve Junction, where you can catch a ferry to Bat Saha. Once in Bat Saha, walk southwards along the shore, and the temple should reveal itself to you. This is like Morrowind-style directions. We have to remember where to go. Northwest Road. Take a ferry. Once we're in Bat Saha, southwards along the shore. Okay. Welcome back anytime, traveler. What's this? Oh, she gave us a shirt and a little meal sweetbread. Don't know what that noise is all about, but we can put on a proper piece of clothing now. Oh, it's got a pocket. That's nice. we put our invitation to the meeting in our pocket? Oh, our speed is affected by what we're wearing. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. So we were told to go. Oh, piggy. Look at the little piggy. So tiny. A nervous scold here, and a wise destitute wretch. That sounds like someone we ought to talk to.
Any gift is welcome.
There are rumors of a Sephra in the Jade Urn that rewards experienced Kalims who, unlike you, choose to leave their braided shore berth. Wait, what? Their braided shore birth wounds untreated. Oh, wait. So you're telling me that if I didn't go and get helped by this lady, I could maybe gain XP somehow?
I know who I am.
A Jade Urn. I don't know what the heck that means. Mysterious. A blind regular over here. I would like to see. Hey, you smell like the fighting sort. You should test your fighting skills against Warden Scylla. She's always looking to teach adventurers a lesson. If you seek her out, you might pick up a thing or two about how to behave in a real fight. Very likely, you will also learn a bit of humility in the bargain. You'll find Scylla up on the embankment to the north, by the train tracks. Gosh, there's so many people to talk to, so many things to do. There's someone named Selka here. What is Selka? We Selka mass-produce items that follow the fashions of their intended buyers. We have no creative flair of our own. Huh. Well then, Oak of Four Winds is the name of this big tree. Big tree. Well, let's look at this rock here. Question mark, question mark. I wonder if that's because it's still in early access and they just don't have descriptions for these things yet. Hard to say. A tranquil food merchant. A bitter road warden. This is blocked well all about. Let's zoom out a little bit here. Take in a little more of the settlement. Oh my gosh, what? I don't know why there were like 1,000 things we could look at there. None of them seem to show anything. Curious. The crank for this well is rusted stuck. Brute strength is needed to draw water here. Well, I don't think that's us. Oh my gosh, we need 4 people. Yeah, no, that's not us. An enthusiastic knot binder. Maybe that's what all these are, knots over here. What does that mean? If you care to tie a magic knot, you've come to the right place. Welcome to Tangle or Bond, Knot Binder Craft Store and Teachery. Why not peruse my knotcraft teachings and the fruit of my bindings? Hello again. Care to trade for some spell knots? I used to live my life just like a Kalim, always on the road, until I fell in love with this house. I found it abandoned after the previous owners left it because of its visiting ghost. Being both wind-wise and a schooled knot binder, I enjoy having this particular ghost around. Once you harness the power to speak to the departed, which we have, you would do well to talk to my ghost. I guarantee you will find it educational. Oh, what's this? crocus roots. We do have the ability to speak to the dead, but not the reagents to do so yet. So I guess that's the road we have to follow to the northwest up there. It's a Sephra shrine. The shrine appears lifeless. Praying might awaken whatever power sleeps here. Okay. Let's pray. We can make an offering. Shall we offer our crappy clothes? No. Maybe some bread? I feel like we might need the bread. Our energy is slowly going down, I think. So maybe we better hang on to it for now. Well, let's head back here. And follow this route to the northwest, as we were told to do. There's clearly a lot more that we could see in town there. Lots of experience probably to be gained, but for now, let's go explore a little more of the countryside. You can hear the rickety windmills. So these must be train tracks up here. I hired a mystic. Let's talk to them. They sound interesting. Greetings, Kalim. I've been hired to survey this field. That poor family of farmers over there have had their entire field struck by foul effects of half-winds. I'm trying to work out how it happened. Not an easy task. I wonder if we could help them. We probably don't have the ability to do so yet, but... Oh, cartographers. No, these aren't who I thought they might be.
Knowledge is gained through listening.
Yes, you were speaking to Strom of the Braided Shore Cartography Institute. I wonder if I can be of any assistance to you, Wanderer. I'm afraid, due to the current Casa blockade, I've been forced to work without access to our map-making workshop. This means I have little new map information or updated maps to offer our subscribers. I will, however, still trade in any maps or geographical documentation you might have. By doing so, you will benefit all travelers in Braided Shore subscribing to using our superior maps. Seems like talking to pretty much every character gives you a little bit of XP. Oh, we can activate this tree here. Chestnut shells. Okay. So I guess this will take us to yet another map. I mean, there's clearly tons that we haven't seen here. All this up here, everything down here to Parallel Pass. We're heading up towards the Northwest Road. Trinket Hoarder. Well, why don't we take the Northwest Road, travel west to Western Verve. Might as well. Travel forth. Huh. What is this? Looks like a rail bed here. There's a train track over there too. Another tree. Some acorns. Shipping administrator. A junction steward. Station master over there. does this map look like? Western Verve. Depot Pier. Seren's Pier. Maybe that's where we take the ferry. Ah, here we are. Interlocking machine parts. Huh. Fascinating. Is that a ferry we hear? Evidently not. Oh, this pier for Batsaha. What are interlocking machine parts? Oh, if we were at all mechanically inclined, maybe we could do something with them. This contraption appears to hide something within it. Without mechanical skill, nothing can dismantle it. And this pier is for the ferry to Batsaha, traveler. The ferry is operating according to schedule. So, the ferry is not here right now, is what they're telling me. I love that the game has the audacity to tell you to wait for the ferry. And also not even tell you what the schedule is. Well, you know what? Maybe it's for the best, because I think this video is getting quite long indeed. And this is a nice, relaxing place to stop for now and take a rest. So, thank you so much for joining me on this puzzling, enigmatic, but enrapturing adventure. This game is so unique. It just looks and plays and sounds like nothing I've ever played before. Clearly, it's a little rough around the edges still. There's a lot of content yet to be added and a few bugs here and there, but I am so hopeful that this game turns out to be something really, really special. I do think it's already quite special from an ASMR perspective. I don't know if I've ever played another game that it just feels like it lowers my blood pressure as soon as I start wandering around. Just the slow pace of traversal and the beautiful backgrounds. So, if you would like to see more of this, please do let me know down in the comments. I would happily continue wandering the braided shore and seeing what there is to see. A big thank you once again to this video's sponsor for the keyboard, the Air 75 that we're looking at here, or that we looked at earlier and that I've been playing the game with here. Once again, if you're interested in the NuPhy Air 75, did I say 74? The NuPhy Air 75, you can check out the links down below at the top of the video description and pinned in the top comment. I appreciate them sponsoring this video, and I appreciate all of you coming along for the journey here today. I look very forward to having you back here next time. Farewell, my friends.